What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome here today to another trade reaction video. In the last video I made, me reacting to your guys' John Collins trade ideas on my community tab. And today, we are reacting to an NBA champion, multiple-time All-Star, Kyle Lowry trade ideas in this video. So there's been some reports that the Raptors, if they feel like their window has closed for winning a championship this year, they will entertain Kyle Lowry ideas in a trade because he's a free agent at the end of the year. He's getting up there in age. Maybe they just want to give the full keys to Fred VanVleet and maybe get Malachi Flynn into the mix eventually and move on. You know, it's time to move on. Like Kyle Lowry, you could say he's been the best, the greatest Raptor of all time, helped them win a championship in 2019, has been an all-star for them, has been an all-NBA type player, maybe not actually making all NBAs, but has been an incredible point guard for them over the years. Has been doing it since he's gotten traded from Houston, with DeMar DeRozan, with Kawhi Leonard, and now with like Pascal Siakam in the new era, but it might be time for it to end. So when I heard these rumors, I was like, it makes sense for the Raptors to look at that. I hope they don't get like too sentimental and don't make a trade when they have a good offer on the table. But I was like, thinking in my head, like, Kyle Lowry's making near 30 mil, around 30 mil a year. He's, 34, 35 in the final year of his contract. Is any team going to want to give up anything for Kyle Lowry? But then when I started to look at some teams, and actually when I made my rebuild on this, I was like, there's actually some teams that would entertain this idea on getting Kyle Lowry. So you guys gave me over 520 comments, so I just clicked on this, and we're going to sort by the top comments. And here we go. We're going to be reacting to them today. I think if the Raptors could get either a young player or a first-round pick, I would do it. I would 100% do it. The Raptors are probably not winning a championship this year. I would take at least 4 Eastern Conference teams over them, and the Sixers, and the Nets, and the Bucks, and probably the Celtics. They could beat those teams, but I just wouldn't bet on it. And if you can get some assets for Kyle Lowry, I would do so. And I think Masai Ujiri would. He gave up DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard, and a lot of people were like, wow, that's going to be the greatest Raptor of all time, and you traded him away. I think it's time. And it's not like you're trading Kyle Lowry to like a bottom team to get a better player, and it's not going to treat him well. Like, he's going to go to a team that will probably have a good chance at also winning the championship. So, first one is from Jacob Chambliss. Heat get Kyle Lowry. Toronto get Kendrick Nunn, Iguodala, Avery Bradley, and a first. Now, if the Martians are pointing the death beam at Earth, this is a trade you want to do. But I think this is a great return for Toronto, because you're getting, Kendrick Nunn, like, I'd rather have Fred VanVleet, and then you could maybe even say you might just rather take the chance of Malachi Flynn, which is fine, but you're getting a first-round pick for an expiring deal. That's not too bad at all. Do they want to take on Iggy and Bradley? Could also help them if they still want to be competitive in the Eastern Conference this year. And for the Heat, you get Kyle Lowry. I probably wouldn't give up a first. I would give up either none or the first, but not both in exchange for Lowry. Jeff O'Ball or Kyle Lowry for Mike Conley. I think Mike Conley's been fine this year. That I don't think the Jazz should really do that. I don't think it's that much. Just the diminishing return for those two players really isn't as good as you would want it to be. And yeah, I think the marginal talent value between Lowry and Conley is pretty similar, where it's just really not worth it. Some form of three-way deal to get Lowry, to deal Lowry and get Drummond to Toronto. Now, there has been the Raptors have been in touch with Andre Drummond, but who are they giving up, right? You would probably, like, if you're not trading Lowry and you're not trading Siakam and Anunoby, you're doing like Norman Powell, Aaron Baines, and a bunch of other stuff to get that even close money-wise, because Drummond is making almost $30 million a year. But if you're looking at a three-way trade and you're maybe getting either Miami involved, or you're getting maybe a team that could take on some cap space involved, like the Knicks or the Pistons or the Hawks, or maybe not those teams specifically, but you know what I mean, maybe the Thunder, and they can get a future like pick down the line or a young player to maybe get Kyle Lowry to, like, I don't know, the Clippers or Miami or a good team, right? Not sending him to Cleveland, because Cleveland has been respectable this year, and he'd be a great mentor for Colin Sexton, but I don't think Kyle Lowry really wants to do that at this point. And I think the Raptors would give him or trade him to where someone he would want to go. Like the Grizzlies did with Marc Gasol. They were going to ship him off to, like, the New York Knicks at the time, right? The techie New York Knicks. They were going to ship him off to a good team like the Toronto Raptors. Buddy Porter says Kemba for Kyle. Yeah, I don't know if Toronto would want to do that, commit to Kemba Walker. I don't think they would. If I were Boston, I would probably think about that. Lakers, of course, there's a Lakers trade. Kyle Lowry, Raptors get THT, Kuzma on a first. The money won't work there, even though Kuzma is making a little bit more, but this year he's not. You would probably have to include Schroeder and a bunch of other pieces. It just won't be able to get done. And yeah, this trade could work. Lowry for Chris Middleton. Why would the Bucks do that? We kind of already went over that. Here's a three-teamer. I like it. Shayaf. Sorry, I'm probably butchering your name. I do apologize. Raptors get Drummond and a 2026 Heat first. Heat get Kyle Lowry, and the Cavs get Iguodala, Leonard, Silva, and a second. So I guess you're getting Silva and a second, which isn't bad, in return for for Andre Drummond, which is actually pretty good because you gave up what, like John Henson and a second originally. So I wouldn't mind that trade. Maybe I'd X for KZ Okpala. Maybe just a young player, maybe from Toronto, maybe X for Jalen Harris in this trade. I don't know, but I do like this realm of a trade. I am a fan of it. Kyle Lowry for Mike Conley and a pick or two. Yeah, I kind of already talked about that. We'll get the Drummond ones out of the way. Ooh, we got a Rockets trade. Rockets get Kyle Lowry, his former team. Raptors get Victor Oladipo because he's apparently on the trading block. I think the two expirings. I mean, I think this would be great for Toronto because then you're rolling a Van Vliet, Oladipo, and Anunoby Siakam. And then if you could somehow end up with Drummond, like starting, I mean, you probably can't get Drummond and Oladipo, but that'd be kind of nice. That'd be actually a team that can compete in the East. I just don't know if that gets done on the Rockets side because Victor Oladipo is technically the big piece they got for Harden because it was LeVert, and then they traded LeVert for Oladipo. Didn't really make a lot of sense. I don't think you want Kyle Lowry in return for James freaking Harden. Mavs get Kyle Lowry. Okay, I do like the idea of the Mavs getting Kyle Lowry. Raptors get Jalen Brunson, Josh Green, a 2025 top 10 protected first and 2 seconds. The Kings get James Johnson, Romeo Langford, and a second. And the Celtics get Harrison Barnes. Whoa, Ahmad, you might be onto something. So I like the Mavs thing. They're giving up, they're getting Lowry, but they're giving up Brunson, Green, and a first. I don't think they would have to give up the first. I think the first and the second are maybe unnecessary. Maybe the one, because you're giving up your first round pick from last year and Jalen Brunson, who's way more valuable than a first round pick. So you're kind of giving up 3 firsts for Lowry. That is a little bit too much. So I would kind of dial that back on what the Mavs are getting up. Like I would probably do, honestly, Josh Green in the first, or Jalen Brunson and Green, or Jalen Brunson in the first. 2 of those 3 assets, not all 3, because that is too much. I would even do Jalen Brunson in seconds at that point. But no, I guess I'm maybe undervaluing Lowry. So maybe Brunson in the first, that if that conveys not by like 2027, it will go to seconds. Kings getting Johnson, Langford, and a 2021 second for Barnes. Yeah, I'd get a second in Langford for Barnes. You get off that contract. And the Celtics get Barnes. A lot of people are talking about that they're interested in Barnes. Now, I don't know if they'll be able to afford that money-wise. Like, if we were going to throw this trade up in, I don't know, does Trade NBA support 4-team trades? I don't think so, unfortunately. Like, if I just did this, can I add, you can only add you can add 4 teams. All right, let's see if it works. All right, so I completed the trade. Now we'll see if it works. I didn't throw it in any picks, but this is money-wise. It does not work. Yeah, so the Mavericks aren't able to complete this trade money-wise. I don't even know if anybody else, I don't even think the Celtics are able to complete this trade money-wise. So, unfortunately, that would not work. But it's an interesting concept. It really is. Sixers get Lowry. Raptors get Danny Green, Ferguson, Scott, Thibault on a first. Ooh, interesting. I mean, I would trade Thibault and Danny Green, really the 2 valuable pieces out of this. For Lowry, you do have to give up a first. I like it. I like it a lot. Poor Danny Green getting traded so much, but he's staying on good teams. Lakers, yeah, he was on the Thunder, but then goes to the Sixers and then maybe the Raptors. Back to the Raptors. Lowry for Williams, Beverly, and a first. I don't think they have to give up Lou Will, but do they have to give up Marcus Morris? They might have to. But I'd rather give up Marcus Morris than Lou Will. Lowry for Bev, yeah, money wouldn't work. Lowry for Oubre and some picks. I mean, what do you mean by some picks? But I think the Raptors could entice getting Oubre for Lowry, because maybe they'll like him and they'll re-sign him. I would like to see Lowry on Golden State. I think that would be really fun, him with Steph. That would be a pretty fun idea. Let's see. Johan. Yes, Toronto's getting Aminu, Langford, and Teague, and a first. Boston gets Lowry, Gordon, Ennis, and Bembry, and Magic are getting Kemba and Ojale. I think, I mean, you're getting Langford in the first. Sheesh, Magic are getting Kemba for Gordon. Not a terrible idea, but I think there are some flaws to it. A lot of Andre Drummond stuff. Wait, Raptors get Andre Drummond and Shea. Okay, totally not a joke, yeah. You can't bring that Canadian to Toronto, unfortunately. I do like maybe the Sixers idea. Kyle Lowry and Chris Boucher for Kyrie Irving. I mean, the Nets wouldn't do that. They really wouldn't. Even if it would make their team somewhat better on the defensive end, they're not trading Kyle Lowry or Kyrie Irving because KD would just be way too upset with that. So, do we have any more new teams here? We got a T-Wolves 1. Beasley, I don't think the Timberwolves are trading Beasley for Kyle Lowry. It's just not the right time on Lowry to the Heat. We kind of already went over that. And Lowry for DeJounte Murray, yeah, the Spurs would not do that. So, yeah, a lot of these trades you guys mentioned, shout out if you're on the screen here. This one got 13 likes. Yeah, it's pretty much similar to the ones we went to already. I don't think the Heat are giving up Achua really for Kyle Lowry and Taurean Prince. But, yeah, a lot of these involve Andre Drummond. A lot of these involve the Celtics, the Heat, the Celtics, the Heat, the Sixers. There was a couple of Warriors ones in there, which were pretty interesting. A lot of people saying Lakers ones, but it's just not happening. But yeah, those are pretty much the main ideas. I think if you can get Kyle Lowry to the Clippers, to the Heat, to the Sixers, I think, or even the Mavs, I think that'd be nice for him. One of those 4 teams, get it done. I mean, if the Mavs, like, if we're going back to this trade, like, can I, please tell me I can edit it again. Okay, like, if I'm the Mavs, you're probably going to have to throw in Dwight Powell, or maybe you're throwing in Josh Richardson to the Raptors. But say you throw in, like, Josh or Dwight Powell to the, I guess, to the Raptors. Like, does this trade even work more? Oh, there you go. It works. Okay, so I'll move out of the way. You got Kyle Lowry go to the Mavs. You got James Johnson and Langford to the Kings. You got Dwight Powell, Brunson, and Green to the Raptors. And you got Barnes going to the Celtics. I really don't get... Oh, because of the trade exception. I was like, how did the Celtics make this work? The trade exception. Okay. Yeah, and then you throw some picks in this idea. Not a bad trade whatsoever. So yeah, this could be my favorite one right here if it actually can work out money-wise. I'm a fan of that. Shout out to Ahmad for requesting that. Not a terrible idea. You might have to move some of these picks around, and I don't know if the Mavs want to give up like these and a pick for Lowry, but it's still an interesting idea. So yeah, that is good for me. Thank you all for watching. Let me know in your comments what you think should happen with Kyle Lowry, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.